Me personally, I was going through a lot outside of anything that was talked about on the show. I was just really struggling, and that affected all of the relationships in my life, but also my relationship with my boyfriend.
Now we're going into season 3 of your family's Hulu show, Your Vets by Now, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty emotional one. I know in the trailer we've got the family kind of having a confusing dynamic. What's ahead in season 3?
Lots of confusion, lots of catching us in our worst moments multiple times on multiple occasions. But I think we also had a lot of fun and did a lot of fun things and adventures, so we'll see.
That's good. The bad parts, that's tough. What's it like to be so vulnerable this season? I know, Dixie, you're talking a lot about your mental health this season too.
I think it's one of those things that just kind of happens when there's cameras following you all the time. It's just can't really put on an act like all the time to make everything okay. So I think just kind of is what it is. Deal with it as it comes.
And what is it that's leading to kind of the confusion within the family? Is it something that is easy to point out, or is it something that's a little bit more like deep down?
I think everyone was just on such different pages for so long, and we were all so busy that no one was really having the conversations that we should have had. And, you know, when you work with your family, sometimes you don't get to be with each other without any cameras as much as you'd like. So it's like, you know, after so long of miscommunications or not talking to each other, the first time you see each other is like on camera, and then emotions are raised, and then you say things that you don't mean, and it's like you really just get to see how that can affect a family, but also how you can kind of come out the other side.
Yeah, I know your dad was like saying in the trailer that he's a little bit concerned about just how much you're in the spotlight. What does that mean to you that he's concerned about that? Have you ever taken a look at your own fame level and been like, man, maybe I should take a step back?
Yeah, I think it's constantly, you know, in my head. Is this the right thing? Like, should I be doing this? Is this what's best for me? But then also be able to appreciate all the positive stuff and just, you know, like enjoy this time. It's like the constant balance of, I love what I'm doing. This is so fun. Look at how cool this was that I'm doing. And then like, oh, this is so much. But I feel like that's also, everyone feels that way about work sometimes. And it's just navigating that as best as you can.
Yeah, finding that balance for sure. Well, I know that Charli, you were talking about like the pressure of having your relationship with Landon out there. Tell me a little bit about that and about having that on the show.
Yeah, I think me personally, I was going through a lot outside of anything that was talked about on the show. I was just really struggling, and that affected all of the relationships in my life, but also my relationship with my boyfriend. And you see us kind of go through that and the ups and downs of how do we stop acting like two teenagers in a relationship and be adults and support each other and be there for each other. So it just took a little bit of up and down between each other, and, you know, spending time to be ourselves and have fun without each other and be less dependent on each other so we can enjoy our time together more. And I think that's just what we had to do. Honestly, one of our fights that we got in was just a bunch of miscommunications after another. And then, you know, we don't talk for a few days, and then we realize, what was even the point of that? There was no need. And then everything gets better. It's like a lot of that stuff that I'm so glad we all came out the other side, like happy and healthy.
I was going to say, everyone looks like they're doing well together now. Are you all through that tunnel? Are you feeling good as a fam?
Very far past it. I feel like we're all on very good stages of our lives.
Yeah. And what's it going to be like to watch that back? I mean, I can't imagine it's going to be easy.
Probably won't watch too much of it, but I think what's going to suck is having people's opinions on things that's already resolved, but also that's what TV is. So
Yeah, I feel like we're
there's
all
nothing
so
we can do.
content with how we feel and our relationships with each other that it's like people are going to say what they want or take out little clips of maybe it's a 30-minute episode and they take 20 seconds and try to make it a thing. It's like we know what happened and
Right.
I feel good about who I am and how I am with my relationships with everyone.
Is there anything that either of you want to say to like get out ahead of the public opinion? Anything that you're like, I hope people really don't take this the wrong way?
No, I feel like people will take things as they take it and can't really do much about it. I don't think there's nothing. I don't think there's much that we need to like save face for. It's just
There was no like ill intent with anything. Sometimes
and I think it's just we're human.
Yeah.
And we're being humans being filmed.
Yeah. That's how you can tell that you're the vets. You're at peace with it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see the rest of the season play out for everyone. I've gotten a sneak peek, and I can't wait to see what everyone has to say about it. So I appreciate your time today. Now we're going into season 3 of your family's Hulu show. 3rd season. What is it like to have that under your belt?
It's wild. I mean, when we first met with our agents and they're like, hey, we think you guys would potentially be good for a show about your family, we were like, nah, we didn't. And then season 1, then we got picked up for season 2, and now season 3, we're starting to get into our groove. I think you see us feeling more comfortable with the cameras around us and being more vulnerable, and you get to really see what is happening in our lives and all this craziness that's happening with our family.
Yeah, I heard from Charli and Dixie that there are some high highs this season, but also some low lows, some confusion with the family dynamic. Tell me a little bit about that from your perspective.
I think for the longest time, we've been kind of in a bubble from our family living, the 4 of us being so close. And I think it's a lot of normal stuff that we dealt with. Both girls moved out of the house. I think it's going to be very relatable. I think people who are in our situation that had kids going to college and how Heidi's dealing with being a mom and not having to do those things every day. And for me, it's been a big struggle because my whole identity, aside from business, has been a dad and being able to protect my kids and take care of them, and to have 2 kids that have their own house and are financially stable. And it took me a while and to realize I'm still their dad and I'm still wanted and I'm still loved, and you get to see that. And I think it'll be relatable to a lot of people out there, especially a lot of dads.
Yeah. And what about you, Heidi? I mean, that's a tough transition for anyone.
Yeah, it's, I'm still learning and figuring it out. I'm very lucky to have, I have 3 older sisters who've kind of launched their kids, and I have a lot of friends that are in the same situation. So I listen, I take a lot of advice from the women in my life about just, how to parent adult children, but we all work together and they are, financially independent and live on their own. So, it's a little bit of like hearing from other moms that what I'm feeling and going through is normal, but also, we have a lot of eyeballs on us, and that side of it is new, and we're trying to figure it out as we go along. But, I think the 4 of us have gotten really good at communicating and saying what we need and what we want and how we want to be supported. So I think just being a good listener a lot of times has been super helpful for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know in the trailer, Heidi, we get to see a little bit of how the Dancing with the Stars journey affected both you and Charli. Tell me a little bit about how that was. I mean, I can't imagine that was easy.
It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Mentally, just trying to learn choreography and all of that. And it's emotional. Everybody on there is trying to win and make it the full 10 weeks. And, also challenging within, for our family we're see each other and are together every day. And so to be sort of, Charli and I were rehearsing and doing that, and Marc and Dixie were hanging out, and so it was the first time we ever experienced anything like that because we're always together. So it was hard, but I was doing this, and Charli was doing this, so we couldn't really manage the relationships properly because we were so invested in what we were doing. So once that was over, I had so much growth personally doing Dancing with the Stars. So when I came out, I felt much better about, communicating and how do we get back or get better than what we were. And, it wasn't easy, but we all wanted the same thing. We all had the same goal. We all want to be a tight family who supports each other. And so I think keeping our eye on that, and that was the prize. We all put the work in to get there.
And it sounds like from my conversation with the girls that you're at a really solid place now as a family. Am I right?
Yeah, no, we totally are.
Like, wait, why did you answer?
No, I kind of want people to watch the show, so no.
Yeah.
We're in, whoa.
Yeah.
wait till you see what goes on. We're always. We're in a solid place, but I do think it's interesting to watch what we're doing, especially like at our age. We get very set in our ways and very stable and very comfortable. And this whole thing has the negative is it through our lives and turn our lives upside down. But the positive is at our age, we don't really have those growth moments. And this is one of those times that we really I had to reflect on myself because I kind of thought I had everything all figured out, and you realize, well, no, you can continue to grow throughout your life and continue to learn, and that's what I took out of it. And I think I was a really good husband and father prior to this, and I think I'm an even better father and husband now. So,
well, I can't wait to watch all of you go on this journey in season 3, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today.